Welcome to another Roselle Citizen Forum. I'm here with Rahman Muhammad and Erica.
Major Erica.
Major
Clark.
Erica.
Major Erica
and myself,
Clark.
Mark Milton, Major Erica Clark. As always, before we start, we would just want to get some quick Roselle business events happening. And the only thing really I know that's happening is the Memorial Day Parade, which it's on May 30th. You can go to rosellcitizen.com/Roselle events and get the details.
Well, they got the debate that's on its way up for the mayor's spot, so that's supposed to be coming up.
That's coming, but I don't know the details on that yet.
Right.
And then also we did tape the First Ward Council debate between Yves Olberg and Reverend Moore. So we'll be airing that right after this, I guess, in the next few days. I would, suggest you go and see that.
Well, the other thing is the election. The election is coming up. We urging all residents to go out and vote on the 7th of June, Tuesday. Make sure you cast your vote for the candidate that best represents your interests and not who you're told to vote for.
Anything from the major? Well, tonight we wanted to do something in the, knowing that Memorial Day is coming up. We just wanted to honor our veterans, show some respect to them. So tonight we invited Major Erica Clark of the U.S. Army and just to ask her a few things, get her feeling on the military. I know since I'm a Marine, served for 4 years. It was a big part of my life at that time. I enjoyed it, traveled, school, paid money for school, and I actually even encourage my sons who are still young to do the same thing. I think I think everybody should do some part what they can, and I do appreciate you also doing your part too in the military. So welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
So can you just tell us when you got in, why did you get in?
Well, the military for me started at a very young age. My father was a Vietnam veteran, so he was very proud, very patriotic. When I was in high school, I joined ROTC in high school. From high school, I received the ROTC scholarship. I attended Tuskegee University on a full 4-year ROTC scholarship and got a degree in electrical engineering, and after that, I hence joined the military. So my inspiration for the military was my father. Not only my father, while I was growing up, I had several cousins that joined the military as well. So whenever there's a family gathering, you'll see about 8 to 10 members of my family that have joined the military and been prosperous in the military.
Was it all Army?
All Army.
All Army, huh?
All Army.
No Marines?
No Marines, no Navy, all Army.
Yeah, they scared of the water.
My father was my father was a very big influence on us. So it was all Army.
Now, one thing I just wanted, the ROTC, I see even in Roselle, I know at the high school here, Abraham Clark, I believe there is a ROTC program because even today I saw a lot of them walking in uniform. How does that work?
Well, for me, when I went through ROTC, it was all about teaching high school students to be better citizens. It was about community service. It was about learning military customs and culture. And what ROTC did for me in high school also gave me the opportunity to learn leadership skills at a very young age. I participated on the color guard when I was in high school. I was a color guard leader. We had different levels of leadership within ROTC. I was the first sergeant for my battalion when I was in high school. So it gave me a lot of opportunity for leadership. It allowed me to develop leadership skills, which I attribute to my success today, both in the military and also in the civilian world. We did things such as current events, so it kept us up on current events. So when the average child or the average high school student hears about different things, they don't know what's going on in the news. One of our requirements was every week we had to go through the newspaper or get a news article and talk about current events and be able to discuss current events. So it made me more aware of what was going on in the community, not only in my community, but also in the world, and helped me just to become a better overall, a better rounded individual.
Do you think, I know a lot, even from my experience, you know, a lot of people say, well, you had no choice in life, you know, you were on that road of destruction, so go into the military. And do you feel is it just an opportunity only for young adults, if they are on that path, to go in the Army, or do you feel that anyone, so even a scholar or someone who's getting straight A's, to go?
Definitely a scholar can go into the military. Like I said, I went into the military a lot differently than most individuals go. You hear a lot of people, they go right out of high school, they enlist, they go in as a private. Because I was a scholar and I had good grades, I was able to earn an ROTC scholarship, which paid for my college degree up front. A lot of students, when they enlist in the Army, they join the Army first and then they earn their college degree afterwards. So because I was a scholar and because I did get good grades, I was able to earn a scholarship. I went to college first, they paid for it, and then I went into the military. So
was that an obligation that you had to do? I mean,
there was an obligation. They paid for a 4-year scholarship. I was obligated to 8 years in the military, but the benefit to that was when all my college peers were out interviewing and looking for jobs and the job market wasn't that great,
right.
I was sitting happy. I could celebrate because I had a guaranteed job. I had a guaranteed employment. I knew that I had benefits. So that was one less thing that I had to worry about. I didn't have to worry about going to interviews. I didn't have to worry about getting picked up by a company. I didn't have to worry about the fact that the economy wasn't that great when I got out and people were scrambling and fighting for jobs. I knew that I had a job.
Did you, now, you went to Tuskegee.
Yes.
Could you have gone anywhere?
Yes, the scholarship I had received a 4-year scholarship if I went to a historically black college or university, or if I chose to go to any other college, I would have been afforded a 3-year scholarship. So I was able to choose any school that I wanted to. But, I chose Tuskegee because I wanted to go to a historically black college and university. When I was in high school, I was in a pre-engineering program. So Tuskegee had a very good engineering program. And also while I was in high school, I went on a trip that was sponsored by a sorority called Delta Sigma Theta. They called it Teen Lift. And they took a bunch of high school students, 3 bus loads of us, and we did a tour kind of up the East Coast and visited different historically black colleges and universities. And that was when I decided to go to Tuskegee.
So you also served in Iraq, right?
Yes, I did.
So how was your experience in Iraq?
My experience in Iraq was very interesting. It was enlightening. It was difficult at first, being separated away from my family. But once I got there and I started working and I started realizing what I was doing, I saw my purpose for being there. It allowed me to see different cultures. It allowed me to travel the world. I actually worked with the Ministry of Defense, so I worked with the Chief of Information Officer and I worked with the Director of Manpower. So I actually worked with people in the Iraqi government to help them establish a human resource system. Through my experiences in Iraq, I made Iraqi friends. I talked to them, and what I found in Iraq is that people are basically the same everywhere. People want to take care of their family. They want a good job. They strive for the same things that we strive for here in the U.S. It was very interesting looking at all the differences in the cultures, how they don't have credit cards, how they don't have ATM machines, how everybody still stands in line to get paid in cash. They don't get a check, they get cash, they stand in line, they wait. So it's very interesting looking at the different cultures, the similarities in the cultures, the differences in the cultures, and just, being able to see a different part of the world that I would have never in a million years dreamed that I would ever step foot in.
You were awarded the Bronze Star, right? How did it feel getting awarded the Bronze Star? People show
well, first explain the Bronze Star.
What is the Bronze Star?
Yeah, people know the Purple Heart,
Yeah,
and stuff,
so
they got Silver Star, they got Bronze Star.
So
they got a Gold Star?
No, babe.
No, I'm
So the Bronze Star is a very prestigious award. It is probably the highest award you can get, being in a combat zone without actually getting injured. For my efforts in Iraq, I was awarded a Bronze Star. I mean, the feeling was, at first I was, in shock. It was unbelievable. I knew that I worked hard for, doing the things that I'd done there. I worked hard trying to help them establish their human resources database. Didn't think I was getting the Bronze Star. I would have been happy to get a meritorious service medal, but I was awarded the Bronze Star, and it was a very good feeling when I got that award.
So now you married.
Yes, yes,
So
I'm
what,
married.
I mean, when you were away, in the military in Iraq, did you have a good husband at home taking care of the family?
But she did say, when she got over there, she pretty much, didn't worry about who was back home. I mean, she did say that. And I can understand it, too. I can understand.
Did you understand? You have a good husband? You have a good husband at home? I mean, because most people think that there's military wives, but there are military husbands.
Yeah.
I tend to hear a lot about military wives. I barely hear anything about military husbands. And being that you're a military wife, you are married and you're in the military, what's the impact of your husband that's home?
I mean,
Yes,
I am married.
You can make that brief. We are running out of time.
Yes, I am married, and yes, I have a military husband. And, we had a very young daughter when I left. My daughter was only 18 months old when I left. So, he definitely had to step up. He had to become Mr. Mom. The communication is different.
What is the best? I mean, what would you say would be the best? What worked for you, but to keep that communication? I mean, because I know, there could be some viewers who have that separation. How did you keep it together?
Well, for me, I mean, Skype.
All right, okay.
Skype was great. I was also able to make phone calls. So, I mean, there was like a 7 to 8 hour difference, just depending on whether or not we were in daylight savings time. So, I had basically a set time every day where I called my husband. It would be when I woke up in the morning and just before he went to bed at night. And I call him and, say, hello, what's going on? How are the kids? He asked me about my day. We basically talked on the phone, every day. We emailed. And then there was also Skype. So on the weekends, I would call him on Skype so that I could see my daughter, because that was really the only time for me to see her, based on my work schedule, his work schedule, and the sleep schedule. So I would call on the weekends, and my husband would put the laptop on the bed, and the baby would be on the bed jumping up and down. And she'd say, hi, Mommy, and she'd stare at the computer for about 2 minutes, and then she'd run off, and he just let the computer sit there, and I just watch her running around doing a little thing, and, I would say goodbye. So,
It's not easy, though.
It's definitely not easy, but
That sounds like a good husband.
What I was happy about was the fact that my daughter remembered me.
Right.
I left at such a young age. When I came back, she knew who I was.
How long was the separation?
I mean, it was basically 6 months at a time. I did a year tour, but I came home in the middle of my tour for her birthday. So she remembered me. I heard a lot of stories with guys who were there and their wives had babies, and they go home and their kids not know them, and they run from them. So I was happy to know that my daughter knew who I was.
That's because the husband made sure the.
My husband did a very good job taking care of the household when I was gone. He did a very good job. He did.
Husbands get credit.
So currently now, you're in the National Guard?
I'm in the reserve.
Reserves, I'm sorry, in the reserve. So, and that means what, you're 2 weeks a month?
One week in a month, and then 2 weeks during the summer.
Okay.
So.
And how long do you have? I mean.
So I've been in the Army 14 years.
Okay.
In order to retire from the military and receive benefits, you have to do 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
at least 6 more years. This year I'll be 14.
Do you think you're going to be deployed back to Iraq for any time? Or
I mean, I don't think it'll be Iraq just because we've withdrawn from Iraq. If it is somewhere, it'll be something that's emerging right now. I mean, Afghanistan is there, but I think we'll start to pull back from Afghanistan, and that's just my personal opinion. But there are so many things that are going on in the world right now, especially over in the Middle East, with the springtime season that they're having, so to speak. There's no telling where duty will call, and if it calls, then I will go.
Right. Well, listen, we appreciate you again, for everything that you've done and you're still doing. What would you say to anybody who wants to pursue what you're doing? I mean, what would you tell them?
I mean, for young students who, may be may not be ready for college and need a career, I definitely say, go into the military. Outside of the college education that it will provide you, the military will give you career skills. Everything that we do in the civilian world, it's done in the military. We have police in the civilian world, we have police in the military. We have nurses in the civilian world, we have nurses in the military. You name it, if it's done in the civilian world, it can be done in the military. And you will learn lifelong skills. The other thing is that employers look favorably upon people who have military experience. So you definitely, if you don't want to make a career, at least go for 4 years so you will have that to put on your resume. It's good for discipline, the pay is good, you get your medical and dental benefits are paid for. So, for somebody coming right out of high school and they're not exactly sure what they want to do, I definitely say the military is the way to go. And for you who are studious and you need a way to pay for your education, definitely look into getting a military ROTC scholarship. So, like I said, I have several members of my family that have been in the military, all been very prosperous, all have nice cars, all have nice homes. So the military is definitely a way to provide for your family. It's a very honorable career. It's a very honorable thing to do. And there is pride. You will feel a sense of pride by being in the military. So,
okay. All right.
And for all those out there who love women in uniform, this is my wife. So I'm the husband. That was the. So this is my major. She's taken. Right, babe?
right.
We'll edit that. Again, thanks. We'd just like to thank our military men and women serving this country, abroad and here. We can do nothing but support them. So again, Major Erica Clark, thanks for coming.
It's Major Erica Clark Muhammad, by the way.
Okay, you deal with that. And again, thanks a lot, and good night.
Thank you for having me.